on stage over just to come up here, Lucy Wallace. Applause for you, Lucy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lucy. This is Laura. And I founded Dance to Be Free in 2015. And Laura's the board member. So I am going to just be really honest. I just went through a really painful loss, and I'm feeling very raw. And the mission of what we do is to bring dance to incarcerated people, and people I meet and have faced profound loss. And so this theme of a glimmer of hope is so beautiful, because I'm always amazed at how much hope the people I meet have when they're even serving a life sentence or just beyond the pale of grief. So what we're doing is bringing cathartic movement to people that have trauma stuck in the body. And I recently heard trauma described as too much, too fast, too often, stuckness. And I'm so relating to that right now. And I feel like what's happening globally, I mean, what's happening in Iran is beyond. So we've gone around the country. The mission is to bring our workshops to men and women. So this is a beautiful quote. Dancing is a reparative experience that directly contradicts terror, helplessness, and invisibility and trauma to enable survivors to reclaim ownership of their bodies and their lives. And I think about that a lot in terms of when we're traumatized, we're not in control of our body. So whether it's, sexual assault or a car accident, we're not in control. But when we're dancing, we're in control. And that's so healing. And we've been to 23 prisons at this point, and all over the country. The only one that's not on this map is Georgia. Our work in the Deep South is incredibly moving. I would say the state that has my heart is Mississippi. Mississippi is the most incarcerated white supportive state in the country. And it's so needed. Colorado is everywhere, but certain states are just so in our programming. So I go into prison, I do a workshop where I teach people how to teach each other. So they sustain the program when I leave. And then we leave DVDs, we can't bring in cell phones, we can't bring in the internet. So I literally buy DVDs and CDs. So I burn my classes that I teach here in Boulder, the Avalon, burn those classes onto DVD, and then I can go and use it. And so they learn how to teach each other. So that's a really beautiful thing, is that they're sustaining it. And so I do 2 to 3 day workshops, and I do a lot of writing, and the writing integrates it, right? Because it's like so powerful to move, and we're going to move in a few minutes. So sometimes there's so much healing and catharsis in that we do writing prompts, like what's the biggest obstacle you've overcome? What are you living for? So it's not just like exercise, fun. It's really therapeutic. So we wanted to show you the video. So Nebraska has been one of our most successful states. And the video just speaks for itself.
Get forgot. We're only abused for bad we've done.
Complete our devastation.
You're in prison. This is what it's dead. Tell me that you need me, and you know I'm coming. When I first got here, I was broken. It took me a while to find my footing. To go into the classes and learn the songs and go there in front of people and teach them, and it just takes your image of yourself and your self-worth and raises it. Dancing shows you can be beautiful.
Dance when you're broken open. Dance if you tore the bandage off. Dance in the middle of the fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free.
Sometimes I'm there alone. I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me slow, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown.
With this, we get to give something back and to be more than our friend, more than acceptance, you know, because I'm a mom and a sister and I'm a daughter.
We do this, but in our hearts, it's like, I needed this in something.
I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we know what I should know more, that we know more, and our children will live.
There's no bright spot in my life. I've got something that I can take.
So I just wanted to point out the woman in the hot pink shirt who said, I want to give this back. She now works for us in Omaha, and she's teaching at a treatment center. And so part of the mission is to get people to go back in or work in facilities on our behalf. So I also wanted to point out, I think the culture's changing, but to understand what trauma does to the brain is so essential and how that leads to criminal behavior. And so whenever I'm faced with judgment of like, well, they look at what they did or made bad decisions, it's like, if you knew their story, and I always think if I had lived their lives, I would be in prison. So Nebraska is my favorite prison, and they're just so progressive, which is wild to say about Nebraska, but they were the first prison to let us film. And so yeah, and in March, we're gonna be 11, which is wild. We work with so many people, but in terms of who we've trained, these are the numbers, but then our graduates teach other people, so it's probably thousands at this point. In 2023, we expanded to working with men. The original mission was to work with women because I was scared, but then we started working with men in Mississippi, and it was just so powerful and beautiful. And we go to Pueblo a ton, and they have been leading for 10 years, and even in the pandemic, they were leading classes. And Nebraska actually Zoomed with us during the pandemic. I mean, you know, there's some amazing stories. Our latest expansion is Georgia, and we are going to go to Rifle, and we hope to film and photograph, and I would love to make a documentary someday. Should we? Right. Okay, so this is Justine. Oh my gosh, she's such a special person. When I dance, I'm saying, see me, I'm a free bird. My crime doesn't define me. I'm a beautiful person. Get to know me. And she's now free. She was in prison for about 25 years, and also Nebraska. And yeah, we are in Boulder too. So we rent at the Alma Saturday mornings and Wednesday mornings. And that's a really great way to support the mission is by dancing with us. And we have spring and fall events. And we're fully funded by donors. The prisons do not pay a dime. So, yeah. Here. Or, yeah, you're please. Oh, yes, sorry, I'm on. Brain is scrambled.
We're gonna get you all doing someone's great prayer and do a song.
Yes.
We're gonna dance 3 songs, everything's developed. So we're gonna like to do that. If you don't want to dance, organizing the app, you know, then just look at your for that.
feel how it's more than exercise. It's a really therapeutic. I never call it therapy. I never got it on day service. I would get so many restrictions. So imagine, you know, like I worked with a group in Nebraska in October. They just got out of prison 2 weeks before the workshop. Imagine doing that while eating my favorite drink. Okay, kidding. One time in Florida, I worked with youth called offenders, and we choreographed an amazing song. But generally, it's adults, but they're really so young, like yeah.
What was the impetus or inspiration that started your downstep?
Yeah, you know, it's something we did. Oh, yeah, what was the impetus for this whole project? It basically, I used to own Alchemy of Movement in Boulder, and yeah, and my boyfriend at the time randomly said, should you make Alchemy into a nonprofit? And I was having a meeting with a woman who wanted to create a scholarship fund for people who couldn't afford to dance at Alchemy. She's that amazing. And I ran it by her. She was like, well, what if you like an arm off of the studio and like you dance with women in prison? And that was it. It's such a weird story because it was so ordinary and the woman could have passed and been like, thought. And I was just like, oh my God, this has to happen. I vaguely knew from Hollywood, like, that like yoga was happening or arts. And then we started from zero. Like we had no clue there was a prison in Denver, maximum security women's prison in Aurora. And I had no idea about running a nonprofit. And so I always tell the story because I'm like, if you don't know what you're doing, it's okay. You know, it's so much fundraising, board of directors, it's a lot of work, but like, the dog is so cute. Just devoted to me. Oh my God, Kitty is nice off of you. Ever. So yeah, it's a really weird story because it was just so simple. And got a hold of a captain in Denver. When he heard the idea, he literally said, you're helping people heal from trauma. I'm like, how did you know? You know? Because especially 10 years ago, it was not in the culture. Yeah.
I know your dance prison specific, but have you thought about working in the homeless community at all? And trying to work in shelters or anything like that? That's a very trauma-heavy environment.
Yeah. And you know, it's like it so goes together. Like so many people end up in prison who were homeless. And a lot of people tell me like I feel better in prison, I feel safer in prison. Like there's but in terms of the mission, I want to keep it focused on, because I know we can work with like breast cancer survivors, you know, but I don't want to dilute the mission. But I think at the same time we are helping people that were homeless. Yeah. So the male population, the first group we worked with were veterans. Oh yeah, I got to tell my dad's story. Yeah. So I was home in New York all the time because my dad was sick for years. And I'm like, Dad, I'm going to start dancing with men in Mississippi. And he's like, what about the tornadoes? I said, are you worried about me dancing with male criminals? He's like, they'll be putty in your hands. And then I got to Mississippi and the woman that helped coordinate it said the same thing. She's like, they're going to be putty in your hands. And they were all vets. And so my dad also had a great insight. He's like, they'll respect authority. And so it was such an easy move in terms of like, go to your space, take out your pen, start writing, and like, women, they talk. And then they were like, and they asked them to write a poem, and then every single guy read their poem. That's never happened before since. And there were no divas and county women. And the women are a little more challenging us. So I always say, men are simple, women are crazy. You know, we go to choreograph a song, we'll be like, and the guys are like, so there's no competition. It's really interesting. And they choreograph so well.
I'm new to the board and Dance Be Free. I just showed up to one of these dance classes one day and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And it's even more amazing because you go all the time in the mornings, you have this amazing experience, and what you pay for the class goes to Lucy teaching in prisons around the country. So like, what are we going anywhere else? But I wanted to also, I don't know that she said this, but the connectedness that you get to feel as a member of the class is that she brings back the songs that she choreographs in the prisons and tells you the story of choreographing them and the people who choreograph them, and then you dance it together here in Boulder. So I just want to make that point because I'm not sure if it was clear.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks, Carrie. Yeah, and then the other prisons dance other prisoners' choreography, so it's like a whole network of like dudes dancing women's movement. It's just